All right, good evening everyone and welcome to another video on my channel. It's been quite long. So today we are going to look at how to create a vector save file in the QGIS software, what people also refer to as Digitizing. So I've already done a video on the interface of QGIS. So if you are new, you can just kindly go watch that video and you are going to be fine so that you can follow us. So in the last video, I was able to use a toposit for a GeoRef function, and today I'm going to be using that toposit to create some basic data, vector data like the point, the line, and the polygon. So without wasting much time, I'll just go ahead to add the data. So I'll come to add layer, then I'll click on add, then I'll come to add raster. Then I'll browse to where I save my georeferencing image is here. So I'll just click on it, open, then I add it. So my image is adding, and I have it here. So this is the reference image that I did the last time. So if you have followed the video, you can also do this. If you don't have, you can just put any of the deposit images. I'll be leaving a link to how to download the deposit on the bottom description so that you can also download and work on it as well. So without wasting much time, I'm just going to demonstrate how to create some data out of this map. So in order to create a vector data, I'm come to layer, then I'll come to create. Then if I click on create, then I'll come to new save file. I'll click on new save file. Then I'll browse to where I want to save it. I'm going to save it in a place called GeoRef. I'm saving it in a place called GeoRef. Yeah. So so I'm going to give it a name, line. Then I'm going to save. So if I click on save, I'm going to select the geometric type. So this is very important. If you are going to create points, you are supposed to select point. If you are going to create lines, you are supposed to select lines. And if you are going to create polygons, you are supposed to select polygons. I'm going to take line first. So I'm going to click on line. So I'm going to give the name that I'm going to give. I want it to appear in the layer manager. I'll just type line. So I'm taking line. So this is very important, depending on the kind of data you're entering. If I'm entering line, that means probably I'm going to enter rows, and the rows are going to be probably like names of people, and that's going to be in what? Alphabets. But in case I'm entering population where I'm going to be entering numbers, I have to choose them to be what? Numbers. If I'm entering dates, or if I'm entering probably some things that is demanding for decimals, I have to choose decimals. If I'm entering date, I have to choose date. So because I'm going to be leveling road, I'll be probably giving it the names of most of the rows are given by people's names. So I'm going to be choosing what? Text. So if I choose text, I'll just add the word, the Felix, and my thing is, so it's going to give me strings. So I'll just click on OK. If I click on OK, immediately a new layer manager is going to be added. A new data is going to be added to my layer manager called line. So in order to start digitizing, if you come to the toolbar here with this pencil, we call it toggle editing. So when you click on it, all the tools are going to be activated. So if I click on toggle editing, the tools are going to be activated. So I come here, place my map that they ask me add line feature. They are asking me to add line feature because when I was creating the save file, I pick line feature. So I'll just click on the line feature and zoom to where I want, and I can begin to do some small digitizing. So I'm going to digitize this route. So I'll just digitize this route. So if I'm done, if I made a mistake, I can use a backspace key to spacebar key to backspace to delete it. If I want to accept it, I'll just double click on it, or I click on it and it gives me the name. So I'm going to give it the ID and the line. So the ID is the value I given it. So I'm going to give it value 1, and the line is normally the name. So I'm going to give it, maybe the road name is road 1. So I'll click on OK. Then assuming I have quite a lot of rows here, so I'm going to do same for another road as well. So I'm going to do same for this road too. So I'll just come here again, activate the digitizing tool, then I will create for this road too as well. So make sure as much as possible you fall within the line. So if I'm done with this, I right click on it, then I'll give it name 2, ID 2, then I'll give it the name road 2. Then I'll click on OK. So if I'm done and I want to save this data, I just come here, click on the toggle editing. So if I click on toggle editing, to ask me save. So if I want to save it, then I click on save, and my data is going to be saved. So if I open this and I open the attribute table, I'm going to see the data that I've just created. So that's how it's going to be. If I switch off this, the data I created is going to be in the map for me. So right now I'm going to go ahead to create save file for the points too as well. So to do for the points, as same thing, I'll just come to layer, then I'll click on create layer, then I'll select create new save file. I'll browse to where I want to save it, then I'll take it, I'll give it a name points. Save it. So this time around, my geometry type is going to be points, and the coordinate system, I'm going to leave it default. I'm going to give it the name towns. Then I'm going to, so I'm still going to, the towns are names of using letters to the alphabet. So I'm going to give it ABCD text data, because I'm going to be naming it with probably names of people or something stuff. So this, then I'll add. So the length is a number of, so if you're having towns, depending on the length of the names of the towns there, if you having towns that are having names more than 100, then you can increase this particular value to 100. But in my case, I don't have any name of a town that is more than like 80. So I'm just leaving that default as 80. So I'll just add the third leaks, then I'll click on OK. So I'm going to pick sample of the, towns here, and I'll just place a point on them. So to do that, I have a town here. So I'll just click on the point, then click on the toggle editing, then I'll click on add point. Then I'm going to click here. Then if I click here, then I'll give it name 1. And I'll give the town name of, for instance, I'm giving it Lumi. So I'll click on OK. Then I go to other places where I know I have some towns that I want to do as well. So maybe assuming this is my town, another town. So I'll just come here again, then click on it. Then this one is going to be 2. Then the name is going to be maybe probably Pandai. So I'm going to click OK. So if I'm going to save this too as well, I just probably click on the toggle editing, and I'll click on save. And when I open the attribute table for this particular, my data is going to be there as well. So if I switch off this, my points is going to be showing, and my lines are also going to be showing as well. So this is how to create both point and line. So I'm going to do one more by creating I'm going to create a polygon. A polygon is more using to represent a feature that is have more than 2 dimensions. So you having 3 dimensions. A polygon can be a rectangle, anything, but it should be more than 2 dimensions. So if I'm going to do that, I'll just again come to the layer, then I'll come to create, then I'll go to new save file. So in this case, I'm going to name it communities. Click on save. So the geometric type is going to be what? Polygon. Then I'm going to give it the names, probably I'll give it towns. So this doesn't access space. You either use underscore or you leave it this way. So I'm still maintaining the text data that is going to be ABCD. Then I'm going to add the field list. Then I'm going to click OK. So immediately another folder file is going to be added to my data. So if I click on it and I click on the target editing tool, it is going to give me access to Digitize. So the moment I place my mind pointer here, they tell me add polygon feature. So if I click here, so this time I'm going to hold my mouse pointer, then I move around the file. I'm digitizing, so I'm gonna move around this. So you can do this as your own time. Just make sure that you have good mouse by your side and you are going to be fine. So when you are done, click on it, then you press maybe give the name one, and the town name is going to be maybe Accra. Click on OK. Then do that for another one. So assuming these are my towns, so click on it. Then I'm gonna add another town to it. So I'm gonna give it one, and maybe I'll give you a circle. And then maybe assuming the whole of this is a town, I'm gonna have another one here too. Then I'm gonna have a tree. Then I'm going to give it the name maybe Medina. So I'll save it. And so I've been able to create just two save files that I was talking. So I have the communities, I have the points and the lines. So if I switch off this, see I have all the data that I have just created. I have the points, I have the lines, and I have the polygons as well. So this is how to create a vector save file for yourself. So if you are dealing with a community or you are dealing with, you want to create, you can use a map of your country to also create a, so if you're having the raster data or an already made map of your country, you can also use that to create another data for yourself using this same procedures. So if I open the attribute table, it is going to give me names of towns. So 1, 2, 3. So if I'm doing for a lot of communities, so I have to manually digitize this, and I'm going to be fine. So this one way of creating a vector save file in QGIS, and it is also called digitizing. So this is just the basis of introducing the basis of how to do the digitizing. But as time goes on, I'm going to give you more advanced tools that can be used in digitizing. So I think that's all for today's video, and thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please kindly like, share, and subscribe. It is a new YouTube channel. Let's help it to grow. Bye.